Welcome everybody to the Glory Reds podcast, and it's your boy Don Benito. And today I just want to ask you guys, what is it that you want as Manchester United fans? What is it that you want to see at the end of the season? What are your expectations? What are you hoping? Where is it that you're channeling your energy to? Because I get frustrated when I see our fellow Manchester United fans complaining about things that are beyond our control, complaining about things that don't help us at the moment. I'm looking right now through social media, and and the weird thing is I'm seeing those that are complaining about yesterday's game. Like, what is there to complain about? Why are you guys shouting out and trying to be all weird and stuff? What do you mean? Yesterday, I think we played some amazing football, but because we lost, that 1-0 scoreline is overshadowing everything. People are forgetting exactly what it is that we did on the pitch, and that is my frustration. That is where I am annoyed. Why are Manchester United fans such pushovers? Why is it that we are allowing the world to dictate how we feel or how we support our team and how we interact with our team? Because for the life of me, I just don't understand those fans that are complaining about yesterday, that are shitting on the manager because of yesterday's loss, that are going in hard on the players because of yesterday's loss. I understand that Wolves, they did the double on us. This is the first time since I don't know whatever. We don't care. They are on a good Premier League run. They've been on a good Premier League run. This was just one of those things, an icing on them. Their football gods blessed them and made it so for them. But if you are a football lover, football fan, and person who understands football, watches football with their eyes and not with their PlayStation, no, that you truly understand the game, then I am sure you are just like me when you watched yesterday's game. You enjoyed it, first of all, and in as much as it was our B team, there was a lot of fluidity. There was a lot of there were positives and negatives. There really were. And those are the things that I actually want to dive in. I want to dive into the positives, and I want to dive into the negatives of yesterday's game. One of the positives that I found out about this game, about yesterday's game, and which people do not want to admit, and they keep on denying, and nobody's actually really talking about it. The system is improving. The system works. This was the biggest issue that we had at Manchester United. The shift from moving from a 4-2-3-1 into this 4-3-3, 3-4-3 that Ruben Amorim wants. The games that we have been playing, yes, the storm was really serious. We got battered left, right, and center. But after we passed the storm, and then when the boys started getting a real knack and feeling off the system, I think things changed. If you go back and look at all our losses, and the recent ones, the ones when you look back, you'll be like, these boys, if they just turned up, if they just did this, if they just did this, if they just applied themselves, this would have been a different conversation. This would have been a different conversation. 1-0, 3-1, or 2-3-2. Very close kind of scorelines. And those are the kind of scorelines that we are losing to. Now, how is that a positive? How is that a negative? I'm just saying, compared to how we started off, how we started off when we were breaking in, when Ruben was breaking us into this 3-4-3, it was a disaster. Players were stopping. They didn't know what they wanted to do. We used to complain about the defense that's slowing down the ball. De Ligt, Maguire. We're like, why are you guys slowing down the ball? Licha. Every time it's because they were these guys were trying to understand how the system works. Now they know the system. The system works. In fact, the system would work if Ruben Amorim has got the players that he wants and needs. That he needs. I think that's not want, that he needs. Because there is no other way. There is no other way. A selfishness in that game, something that we need to eradicate fast, faster than Ebola or anything like that, or COVID or what, is this selfishness thing. I understand. I understand. Being a striker is... I've played the game. I've been there. I was a striker. I am a striker. I know what it feels like to go through a goal drought. I know exactly how it feels like when you see an opportunity, right? And you thinking to yourself, this is my time to actually start scoring. And then you might end up fluffing it. These things happen. But one thing that I will not accept is blatant ignoring. I'll give you an example. Yesterday, Rasmus Højlund did a move, and I don't even know why nobody's talking about this. Everybody else is talking about other stuff, but they're not talking about this one particular. And I want to emphasize on it so you guys can remember. There was a move that Rasmus Højlund did that was kind of easy on the eye, very nice, in the halfway line. I don't know where he got the ball from, whether it was from Eriksson or Ugarte, but he got the ball on a turn. And he almost did it like a nice chop, young half for Cruyff turning, beat the defender and was running. Now, on the far right, Kobe, I think it was Kobe Manu. It had to be Kobe Manu. Kobe Manu or Dogu. But I think it's Kobe Manu. Kobe Manu was coming with him, moving with him. I think we had a 2-in-1, 2v1 situation with the defenders and us. Rasmus Højlund did something that was so stupid. Because again, it's one of those situations where it's like, dude, if you decide to go and handle the ball and do this, you better score. Make sure you score. Don't fluff the ball. Don't. You know, the opening for Manu was too big. It was too big. Kobe Manu scores that goal. Or if Kobe Manu is not that selfish, he will chop it back, give it back to Rasmus Højlund, and Rasmus Højlund can score. But Rasmus Højlund yesterday fucked up one of the biggest opportunities. I know people are talking about the Mason Mount situation. That Mason Mount situation, I don't think that is one of our biggest chances. No. Our biggest chance is this one that Rasmus Højlund fucked. Excuse me. That he wasted. Give the pass. Give the bloody pass. Kobe Manu was going to finesse that ball and like that game. The way I see it, if Rasmus did that, that would have galvanized us. That would have been 1-0, right? That would have made us, yes, a little bit comfortable, because our boys tend to be comfortable. I don't know why, when they're leading, instead of making sure that they punish the opponent. But they have this tendency of dilly-dallying and trying to, and I'm assuming that would have happened. And if that free kick did come, it would have been a draw. It would have been a draw. But no. There were so many moments where selfishness is going to be the downfall of this team. Selfishness will definitely be the downfall of this team. It will be the downfall of certain players. We got into an argument in the Glory Reds WhatsApp group, and one of the members was talking about Garnacho having to be dropped. And I wanted to talk about Garnacho because I particular have not been feeling Garnacho. I still think he's a kid, and I'm still on this thing of like, okay, I understand people want to give him a chance, they like what he does, but for me, he's too childish. He's too childish. And for some reason, he's refusing to grow up fast. Everybody else grows up fast. Why is he not growing up fast? Maybe I need to be a little bit patient. Okay, fine, I will. Now, throughout, I think for the last 6 weeks, I've been just like, what is Garnacho doing for us? I talked about him about to leave to Napoli. If Napoli didn't give him, if Napoli gave him 200k, we wouldn't have been talking about Garnacho by now. Garnacho would have left. So Garnacho, I've had this reservation with Garnacho. And I understand that he's one of people's favorite players. And I'm not even going to try and go too much on him. But yesterday, Garnacho was unbelievable. I enjoyed Garnacho's game yesterday. I was like, yes, Garnacho, this is what you are supposed to be constantly doing. The more you do this, it will be ingrained in your head. It will become second nature. It will become muscle memory. You will always want to provide. And I want my youngsters, I want Garnacho, I want him to want to provide. Because giving, I told you guys, I'm superstitious. The football gods, if you give, man, they will give you back. They will give you back. Just like the real mighty father. But the football gods, they like a team player. They like a player that is always looking to assist, always looking to improve another player. The football gods love that. The football gods, they love determination. They like perseverance, like they like it, like that siege mentality, us against the world mentality. The football gods love that. So I don't understand with Garnacho how now that he had a good game, people are now overpraising him and forgetting the main situation with Garnacho. Garnacho didn't score yesterday. Garnacho scored I don't know how many games ago. And remember that stat that I told you. Garnacho scores after 25 times. He has to shoot 25 times at goal, depending on how long it is. 25, 26, whatever. You can, I'm just trying to make you understand the level and the depth of how, or the seriousness of how Garnacho not contributing in goals is really affecting everybody. It's affecting our, like it's really, it has affected our season. It has affected our goal difference. It has affected us because we are where we are. So when people are like, oh, Garnacho this, Garnacho that, I'm like, whoa, relax. Relax. This is what he is supposed to do. He doesn't do this. He hasn't been doing this. He's always had that element of selfishness that I just can't shake. And yesterday, for some reason, he decides not to be selfish. He decides to be a team player. Now, whether or not that is going to last is my question, because that Garnacho that I saw yesterday against Wolves is the Garnacho I want to see throughout. Obviously improved, but I want to see that attitude. I want to see that attitude. Always wanting to help, fight. Poor decision making. Poor decision making in that. Like, that's one of the negatives that we've had there. Yes, Amorim did substitutions. He brought in Dalot, Bruno, Mason Mount. People are complaining about Mason Mount. Am I the only one that sees the importance of Mason Mount in our team? Am I the only one who has got glasses or that can see the importance of Mason Mount? And mind you, we all know that Mason Mount is fragile. He's fragile. I don't know. This has been the longest we've seen Mason Mount featuring for us without picking up an injury, without hearing the next day that Mason Mount will be out for this week and what. This has been the longest. Why are people complaining? What is it that you want? Is it because he's wearing the number 7? I can understand that. But grow up. Grow up. He is our player. He needs our support. He's just come back from injury. His injury has been wild. And the last thing that Mason Mount needs is people being on his case about how he's like. I'm surprised at how people do not understand the importance of Mason Mount. I think they are waiting for Mason Mount to be fully fit, us to have our players, everybody else fully fit, the whole squad. After preseason, we start fresh, we are scoring or not, like we're just smashing teams. That's when people want to react to Mason Mount, like, oh, no, now we see. You've completely forgotten what this player brings to this team, and that's sad for me. I'm seeing on social media people going in on him. I'm like, why? This is a player that is dealing with, I guess, a chronic injury, an injury that just keeps on coming back. So he needs our support. And now we are playing in this most crucial time of our season. Look, we have already decided. It has been decided that we are going for the Europa. We couldn't talk right up until we got to this moment. You don't jinx your season. That's why no one said anything. Nobody was, except for some of us who just had the balls to be like, yeah, we might win this. But in general, people will not talk about their team winning a trophy or whatever because they don't want to jinx the situation. Now, this is the situation we're in. So once we beat Lyon, it was now apparent that there is a chance that we could win this, which now opened up the doors to this conversation of let's go and win the Europa, which is normal. This is normal, standard procedure. You don't talk about winning the Europa when you're playing the last 16 or group stages. You don't do that. You do that in the latter stages of the competition. So now we are there. People are now getting a little bit nervous. People are getting a bit weird. The Premier League is gone. Like we knew the Premier League was gone. Why people are going in on these guys and shitting on them and saying this, blah, 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 I don't understand. Newcastle was humbled. Remember, the Newcastle that beat us. By the way, people thought that Newcastle was there when they beat us. No, we made some substitutions. Things happened. We lost the game. It is what it is. Ruben Amorim has been coaching wins. I don't know for how long. I think it's now 3 weeks or 4 weeks. I think now it's 3. Yeah. He's been coaching wins ever since the international break. He's been coaching wins. Even before that. It has been our players that have been failing to apply themselves. I'm sorry, but our front three, that front forward, like our attackers, whatever, that whole lot can miss me. Apart from Ahmad, because Ahmad is not there. And Ahmad has been back. Ahmad's season speaks for itself. His numbers, what he has been contributing, big game, big player. Ahmad, we are not having that conversation. He's out of it. Because we know what Ahmad can bring. But we are stuck in this conversation about the youngsters, Garnacho, Rasmus Højlund, Diogo Dalot. We are stuck in this conversation about what do we do? What do we do? I have resigned myself to think, I told you guys a long time ago that, look, I'm cool with Garnacho leaving. I've made up my mind. Like, I think I have. And the reason why I say I've made up my mind, I'm looking at his age. I'm looking at all wingers and players of his caliber. I'm looking at all wingers, like the player type that Garnacho is, right? And his age, And I'm looking at everybody else that's around the world. And I'm like, Garnacho, for his age, he needs to put in more work. Doesn't seem like it. People are surprised when I say Garnacho has this aura of being like a senior player that I don't get. Because he gets to make stupid mistakes and he's rewarded. He plays. I don't know what it is that these gaffers see, but we need to drop him. Yesterday, yes, he had a good game. But that game yesterday doesn't mean that he's going to have another same game like this the next game. Nah. When has that happened? How often does that happen? It doesn't. So people complaining, we lost. And then there's the fans that are seeking credit for predicting a loss. Some said we were going to lose yesterday. Fine. When you watch that game as a true United fan, like your heart, like saying it with your chest, like with like an oath kind of thing, are you going to sit there and say with your chest, I told you we're gonna lose that game after watching what we watched. And after, because some United fans have been like, no, drop Bruno, drop the players. We need to rest them. We need to play the kids. Cool. The gaffer said that I cannot just put all the kids in because the kids need a foundation. The kids need a group that is good, a good backbone. That's where a lot of these kids would have thrived. And I agree with it. He said it in his press conferences. He said, we're not going to rush this issue of the kids into the first team. And the reason is because you need to bring these kids into stability. You look at Man City. I'll give Man City, I'll give Liverpool, and I can even say Arsenal to a certain extent. Man City, you look at Phil Foden when he broke through. You look at Cole Palmer when he broke through. You look at Rico Williams when he broke through. You look at all these youngsters that they broke through that you know about Man City and how they were able to be there and stay like that. It's because of the foundation. They already had a team that was winning or that was going to win. So introducing youngsters slowly, that at the end become regulars and first team starters is how it should be. Now here, you want to throw Chido in after Rasmus Holland has been fucking about. The midfield is like this, when there are so many issues going on. You want to throw in Collier in the middle there, or you want to throw in this youngster. Nah. Then who takes the blame? These big guys, they get like we forget about them when yet the seniors are the people that we need to be looking at. It's almost like they are escaping their responsibilities. So the gaffer is right. The kids need stability. The kids need somebody to usher them in. We spoke about this a couple of weeks ago when we're like, a first team needs a senior player, a Bruno, a Casemiro. If that team has got nothing at all, it will be a disaster for a very long time because they need to be nurtured. They need to be nurtured. So in that case, I'm just like, hey, I'm not mad, but at the same time, I'm like, drop certain players. These kids, some of them, they need to be dropped. Big shout out to the kids that started yesterday. Tyler Friedrichsen, wow. I needed to give you a big shout out, my guy. Wow. Guys, I'm sorry. Tyler Friedrichsen yesterday played like he'd been playing for us for decades. I don't know what it is about the new generation. They have this aura of like being there. It's like the aura of I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt and bounced. Friedrichsen yesterday was amazing. And by the way, he was playing against a full Wolves. Like the youngsters that we put into our team yesterday, they were playing against the first team. They're not playing against the B team. They're not playing against first team. And what did we do? We managed to hold these guys right up until the end. And there's nothing you can do about that free kick. Absolute perfection. That was a surgical free kick. Nothing can stop that. Unless maybe Onana moves a little bit to the left, stays a little bit centrally so he can dive there. But that free kick was so surgical. It was just, you can't even get mad. And that's the thing that we are trying to understand. Why are people upset? It's not like we conceded a goal that was so easy and so blatant. No, it was a free kick. A free kick is a free kick. Bruno could have scored a free kick. We would have been having a different conversation if that had happened. I don't know why people are going in on these guys. Yesterday was one of our best performances as a club, like in a while. And we can pick the individual performances this season that we can say like, yeah, that was good. That was a good performance by the guys. We can. And yesterday was one of them. And what's crazy, it was our B team. It was our B or C team, whatever team you want to call it. It wasn't the first team that everybody knows. It wasn't. But we managed to put in shift. I was so pleased. I was so pleased with Tyler Friedrichsen. He reminded me of Pau Kubasi from Barcelona, 17-year-old. Like, these youngsters are cold. These youngsters that relaxed. It's amazing to see. Big shout out to Amas. Yesterday we got to see Amas. We were crying out for Amas, but that's the story of our lives. We cry out for youngsters that we cry out all the time. We cry out and cry out and cry out and cry out. Do they come? No. But yesterday Amas was good. He was a joy to watch. He was a breath of fresh air. His IQ was good. I know some people are going to say he was better than Dogu. I don't think so. I think Dogu is a proper threat. I just think Dogu is not old enough to start taking shots. Like, I don't think he's senior enough to now just be making decisions like he's been there in the game for a long time. Just keep on putting in the crosses, bro. That's your job. If you get an opening, score. But you, down the line, put that banana. Put that banana inside and let's stop talking. The last thing that I wanted to talk about was, okay, so yesterday's game should have been a clear indication that it's over for us in the Premier League. The Premier League is over, it's done. We are playing, yes. We are playing so that we can also maintain whatever positional, whatever. I was about to say superiority for some reason, but yeah, just so that we can pack ourselves in there. But our season is done. And mathematically, we cannot be relegated. Like, so we are going to be here next season. We like it or not, Manchester United is not going to be relegated. Even if we lose all our games now, we will not get relegated, which means we are staying in the Premier League. However, the focus has to shift, which is why people are just weird. You know, yesterday was supposed to be like an encouragement. I remember posting in, seeing the lineup, and I was like, I looked at the lineup, and the only thing that the statement that came into my head was, these guys can hold it down until we bring in reinforcements. We'll be good. That's what I said. Like, I typed that. I think I don't know where I posted it. I posted it, and I was like, if we can hold on to these guys, like if these guys can keep this up until we bring in reinforcements, we should be good. Now, the reinforcements were a little bit tricky, but it's understandable and can be explained. And the Europa is the focus now. Every decision that the gaffer will be making from now right up until the Europa is important. Which is why a lot of people didn't start, which is why it was so weird not seeing our Magnifico not start. It's crazy. That was Bruno's first game. It's the first Premier League game he has not started since 2022. What? We're in 2025. Like 3 years later, Bruno has not missed a Manchester United Premier League game. Are you kidding? This is levels, guys. This is reliability. Huh? I can't. Anyway, but seeing Bruno come on as a substitute was good. Him coming as a skipper, people getting excited. It was nice because you know the guy that dictates things around the theater is Bruno Fernandes. But overall, the game was so good. It was so entertaining, so enjoyable to watch. Watching Friedrichsen, Amas, and Garnacho on that left side was just wow. Garnacho needs to do more. The runs are cute and good and are pleasing, and they show that you are trying, but the final product, my friend, that is what we need. You need to work on the final product. I remember Vinicius Jr. when he arrived at Real Madrid. He was just this guy that was just trying to do too much. Too much. And his end product was not there. But I don't know what he did. He knuckled down, he worked hard, and he just started being a team player, sort of player. and things opened up. And I want that for Garnacho. Don't get me wrong, I like Garnacho. I wouldn't want to see Garnacho leave Manchester United. But trust me, the way football is changing, the way football is, there are certain players that you can look at and be like, look, as long as this guy's in my club and continues with this attitude or this trajectory or whatever, it's not going to work. So we might as well just cut our losses and move. It's like Rashford. I know it. Yeah, the Rashford situation was the most painful one for a lot of fans because they want, like, it was one of those things where, like, nah, Rashford is good. He'll give us, he will show us. Like, he'll be consistent the next season. And if he's not, then we know. And the moment he wasn't, it was like, look, that was the last time we gave you that opportunity, bro. Because people have been saying that you are just mediocre. One season you're good, another season you're bad. Like, you're up and down. Where is the consistency? You can't be a United great or legend without consistency. This up-down bullshit doesn't work. That was with Rashford. Garnacho has been having this, I don't know, for the longest. He didn't start the season well under Eric Ten Hag even. Because Copa or whatever. What was the tournament before? It was Copa. Came late, didn't start the season well, had to sort of like catch up, coming in as a substitute, blah, 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 then getting his position, staying on it, not doing much, and then still being rewarded for his... You see, it's this thing of being rewarded. Unfortunately for us, that is what we have. Those are the players that we have. We don't have anybody else more. Anthony is at Betis, Rashford is at Villa, Ahmad is injured, Sancho, Chelsea, So we need to make do with what is in front of us. And it doesn't help when you see our own players taking a piss. Yesterday, I don't know how many chances we missed. And I just sat there thinking and deeping. And I'm like, look, man, I understand. And look, we love this club, but you're not going to put me through this. You're not. Like, fuck it. Like, I understand that I love my club, but yo, I can voice my opinion and say, look, this is bullshit, and not accept mediocre. Rasmus Højlund, bro, I'm not saying he's mediocre. I'm not trying to go into him, but my God. Did you see the gaffer's face when he was talking about Rasmus Højlund? He is frustrated. He is at wit's end with Rasmus Højlund. He's like, he must score. And you look at his face, his facial expression, it tells you, oh, he's like, he must score. He must fucking score. And that's the thing I was talking about. People praised Rasmus Højlund for that goal that he scored where Bruno gave him the assist. I forgot what game it was. Was it Leicester? Where he brought that ball nicely down. I told you that game that I was nervous when I saw Rasmus take that ball. I was nervous. And he dispatched it nicely. Ding, ding. Yesterday, he had an opportunity. He looked up. He saw Kobe Mainu. He saw him, or whoever the player that was running on that far. Because it was a 2-in-1 situation. That was supposed to be a bloody goal. What did he do? He turned his body, I don't know, and did this, and he lost the ball. That sealed it for me. That sealed Rasmus Højlund's fate in my eyes for me in Manchester United. I can't trust Rasmus Højlund. I can't, and in as much as I want to help him in his goal drought, like, let's just say he starts scoring now. It's late, too late. It's too fucking late. The season is over. There is nothing that he can do that can change our fortunes as a club. And that is actually his fucking job as our number 9. As a number 9 is to make sure that we are always competing. You look at Tottenham. Yes, Tottenham has fallen off in the most bizarre way. I can't explain how Tottenham has just, like, I don't get it. It needs to be studied. Like, really. Like, Ange Postecoglou. Yeah. That, the scoring, the amount of goals. You look at their goal difference, right? Tottenham looks weird where they are. languishing at the bottom with the peasants and everybody else, but their goal difference is very superior. It's like, yeah, let me not say, I was about to use something in penises, but yeah, it's weird. It's weird. So with that being said, Rasmus Højlund is not it. Ruben Amorim is frustrated, guys. Look at that interview. Not interview, post-match press conference. Especially when he's talking about Rasmus Højlund. And then again, he tries, and I understand. He says it's a team thing. These players, it's a team thing. They need to have this generosity going. It needs to be there. You need to want to provide for your man so he can score. We'll make it easy for him to score. Where is the love? Trust me, the football gods, they love that. Sharing is caring. You provide an assist. I'm telling you, the gods just make things easy for you. You might find yourself in a one-on-one situation, maybe running, and the guy you're running with is right there. He might just make him slow down and you continue. That's how football gods work. That's how I see them work. That's how I've been seeing them work for years, ever since I was a kid. I'm not saying that I can visually see them, but I believe they're there. That's how superstitious I am. So this is how everything is going. This is how everything is moving. Yesterday was a good game. Brilliant bloody game. It was just overshadowed with selfishness, this lack of quality, low IQ. Low IQ seems to be the phrase that has been flying around when it comes to Manchester United. The brain. Somehow we've got players that just can't think. We've got players that just cannot apply themselves. It's scary. It's scary when you think about it, because these are the players that you depend on. You cannot, at this point, you can't think about, this is how it's going to be, or if we had this player, or they are your players right now. Ruben Amorim needs to make champions out of that. That's the story. That's where we are. Thank you, everybody, for listening to the Glory Reds podcast. It's your boy, Don Benito. And thank you, everybody, to our new subscribers. Thank you for joining in. We are seeing that there's been an increase in traffic on YouTube. We appreciate the support. Continue to support us. Please subscribe, like, share the content, because maybe there's something that we might have said that might be interesting. Please, there might be somebody out there that needs to listen to Don Benito. Please make that happen. Peace.